Down to Spring Grove, Minnesota, and I saw their Veterans and War Memorial um, here off the side of the main highway that goes through town, and I decided I want to stop. Um, Here, you guys don't want to look at me. Let's look at this. This is a really nice memorial, people. It's Vietnam, 1960, 1975, Lebanon, Grenada, and Panama, 1976 to 89, Persian Gulf, Iraq, Afghanistan, Global War on Terror, 1990 to now. Nothing on this side, but look at this, beautiful, this limestone boulder. And look at this inscription: to those, Spring Grove Honor Roll, to those who offered their lives in humanity's defense in the Great World War, 1914 to 1918, and in memory of those who gave their last full measure of devotion. There's people who died literally for the cause of liberty in the world, fighting an evil empire, the Prussian War, Germans as you would know them. Here's World War II in 1940s. Look at all of that. All these people from this area, folks. Spring Grove is not a big town, all right? I'm going to get emotional. Spanish-American War. World War I in 1910s, World War II in 1940s. Look at all of these names. Vietnam. All these people served. Korea. The Gold Star veterans. Lester Ellingson. Albertus Onsgaard. Thelmer Thompson. Hans Oster. Milford Meyer. Andrew Twido. I'm sure I screwed that up. Oswald Wilson. Donald Drevold. Benny Rosted. Harold Langland. Alf Meyer. Mervyn Erickson. Marvin Doyley. Donald Valentine. Robert Wennis. Robert Sayers. Lowell Treus. Kevin Goodnow. Harlan Ingen. Daniel Crocker. All gave some gave all. Niels Thompson, Charles Noyes, Herbert Trahan, Andrews Ellingson Solberg, Henry Ruff, Peter Gibney, Francis Brown, William Everett, Chandler Fleming, Theodore Hacker, Hans Vinyam, Peter Johnson, John Duff, Christian Thompson, Truls Olsen, Peder Engen, Peter Eichelberger, Alvin Smith, John McCabe, Anna Amundsen. Civil War. These are Civil War. Silas Carrier. We have people from the Philippines in here. I know it's windy. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to try and get some shelter from this. Why am I pointing this out? Why am I pointing this out? Because I was having a conversation with a new friend, follower on my channel the other day, and it was in reference to the Gramscian Marxist, Gramscian Theory crap that's taking hold of our country. These small town noises as you go by, you guys are just going to have to deal with it and love it. This Gramscian theory, this wickedness that's permeating our culture, where you can't hire somebody, you can't promote somebody, you can't appoint somebody unless you take into consideration what their ethnicity is and what the percentage of the people that they represent is. And he said, why can't we just be people? And I told him it's because of the Gramscian theory. Now, Antonio Gramsci was locked up in Italy
for his Marxist views by a fascist government. I mean, two diametrically opposed, except for they're both authoritarians and wanting to imprison people that disagree with them. But I said to him, there's this huge difference between what's happening in the United States, and he says, well, it's happening in the world. It's happening to the whole world. And I said, no, it's happening to in the whole world, absolutely. But there's a massive difference between America, the Republic of the United States, and what's going on in the rest of the world. See, the rest of the world was primed and pumped full of this ridiculous stuff years and years and years ago. And for the most part, it was because they're not republics. Now, they may have constitutions. When we look at Canada, they have a constitution, but they also have this other document that allows them to basically have government strip away from its very own people the ability to fight for their First Amendment rights. And so people are like, how is America different than anybody else? Well, America's different because of who we are as a republic and because of our ideology. And so these things that are happening, this constant drumbeat of ethnic differences, of racial hatred and animosity, and white supremacy that, and white supremacy this, and implicit bias that, and implicit bias this, all of this stuff is a tool in the hands of the Marxist enemies of the Republic of the United States. Something that every single one of these people that I just mentioned and showed from all these different engagements went to war for, to fight against. See, we didn't just fight against fascism in the world in the sense of this right-wing fascism. We fought against National Socialism. The Nazis were socialists. We fought against Japanese imperialism. We fought against Italian fascism. We fought against that. We fought against Marxism in the Cold War. We fought against Marxism, the communist takeover of Asia, when we went to war in Korea, when we went to war in Vietnam. We have fought against these ideologies across the world. And granted, we cannot enforce or import American democracy, if you want to call it that, but American republicanism, we cannot enforce the ideals of the American Republic on the rest of the world, but we can fight to keep people free and liberated so that they can make the determination to fight against those things on their own, because they can see that it means something to the American people. And so all of these people, the all who gave some and the some who gave all, and those who went and died on foreign lands to free them from tyranny, would better understand than most of the coddled and pampered, spoiled, rotten children and adults that live in America today, who think that it's the role of government to protect them from all harm and protect them from any threats and to protect them from anybody who has a divergent opinion from them. See, these people that are enshrined in a place like this war memorial, they didn't fight for what this country has become today. They fought for exactly the opposite of what this country has become. They fought so that you could have your opinion and speak it and not be in fear of losing your job and not be in fear of being harassed and hounded at in your own home, or to have your house and your life threatened because you didn't say exactly what the Marxist communist culture of our country now demands. I was just watching the Tatum report, and he was interviewing the officer from Twin Falls, Idaho, who was fired because he made a video mocking LeBron James. The people who died for this country, the people who went to war to spread the ideals of American republicanism across the globe, would be ashamed at that. Because the very thing that has made this country great and that has caused the American populace to rise up and go into other parts of the world to fight for others has now been abandoned by people who benefit from the sacrifice of others. This should not be happening here. We were once the bastion, the last hope of freedom and republicanism in the world. Other countries could look to us and hope that they could someday achieve what we had, or at least come here and be free. But now people who fled communist and Marxist dictatorships around the world and came here and became citizens of this country are watching those things that they loved about this country, those things that made this country great, be whittled away by collectivists and communitarians who have now dictated by a slim minority what's okay to say and what's not okay to say, and what's okay to think and what's not okay to think. And they've labeled things hate crimes and hate speeches and declared intolerance as something that should be imprisoned, while they use intolerance to imprison those they disagree with, or cancel those they disagree with, or deplatform those they disagree with. So to my friend who asked, like, well, so why isn't this something that's happening all over the world? Yes, it's happening all over the world, but it shouldn't be happening here. And our elected servants and our appointed servants, they're the ones who are fostering that mentality because they don't want to give up the power that they think they have because they've stripped it from the American populace. The thing that made this country great, our Republican ideological viewpoint, our constitutional views, the Declaration of Independence, the Mayflower Compact, the Northwest Charter, all of those things are nothing now more than dead, dry, dusty paper waiting to blow away or burn up in the next conflagration. And we should be scared, but more than that, we should be angry. Angry enough to not take it anymore. And that's why Gramscian Marxism has no place in the United States. We fought to destroy that ideology after World War II. We fought against Soviet communism and Marxism around the world for the good of others, so that they could have what we had. And instead, we've allowed them to give us what they had. And the American people are to blame for this. Rise up, please, people. Rise up. Vote the bastards out. Take our country back. Until next time, don't worry about whether or not you're safe from a virus. Don't worry about whether or not you're safe from your feelings being hurt. Fight for your liberties. Fight for your freedom. Sic semper, Tyrannus.